So right now, the Celtics, for the most part, this season, their most consistent starting lineup has been Marcus Smart, Derek White, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. When Rob has come back, he's played off the bench, obviously, during his initial stint when he returned. After that, he's mostly been in the starting lineup, minus just the occasional Joe Mazzulla. I'm going to do what I feel like doing, Mazzulla over here. Don't ask me questions, and he just does what he wants. But I think right now, as we start to look, as everything is gearing up towards the playoffs, I think right now, and we talked a little bit about this last episode where I think we both agree Derek White's been the third best player in the Celtics this year. I think you could make the case Al Horford's probably the fourth most and maybe is one of the one or two most important just given his versatility. And then you have Marcus Smart. And I think that five should not only be the starting five, it should be the closing five most nights with adjustments made matchup dependent as in the flow of the game. But I think those should be your starting and closing fives the majority of the nights moving forward.
I agree. And the guy that should be the potential person to be moved out of that five is Marcus. Like Agreed. we got to stop with this. It's Derek White that's going to the bench in that scenario. Like as we saw last night, man, I love Marcus. I'm a huge Marcus Smart fan, but he hasn't played that well this season. And when Marcus is having a meltdown like he was having last night in the fourth quarter, well, I don't know what was going on with him. He was just upset that Trae Young was just toasting him the entire time.
Real quick, that was just a total overreaction or just a frustration reaction, right?
I think that's accumulation of all the stuff that's happening during the game. And then he gets kicked in the nuts and he freaks out, even though Trae Young didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seemed even Lorena was watching the game with me last night and she was like, that didn't look very intentional. Why is he so upset? I was like, it's just having money. He's just having a moment. That's about it.
And I think Al probably needs to be on the court just because of his ability to stroke the three this year. And he's so good on the defensive end as well. Even though there are some matchups where you might be a little concerned with his foot speed, I think he probably makes up for it in other ways where it's not worth putting in like a Grant over Al. But maybe there are some scenarios. But I think like Brogdon, I was really interested to see the last 90 seconds of the game, whatever it was when Smart got ejected, Brogdon come into the closing five, and it's Brogdon, White, the Jays, and Al. And one thing that I loved about the end of the game is the Celtics didn't stop running. And that's one thing that really frustrates me about them is that when it's the last 5 minutes of the game, they really try to slow the game down, and it doesn't make sense for the way that they like to play and the way Mazzulla would prefer them to play. They need to get out and keep running the full 48 minutes, and last night was one of the first times I actually saw them do it. I don't know if it's just a coincidence that Marcus Smart was off the floor there because he was running before he got ejected from the game. It's just so happens he blew the layup on the one that he had an opportunity, which was really, really frustrating. But I just think what I saw at the end of the game last night leads me to hope there are a few more situations in which we can see that five that was on the court just like a couple of times at the end of the season so that Joe at least knows, hey, that five can actually close out a game and I can feel good about it.